What's going on? You're watching Smitty Games, and thank you for watching because this is my first ESO build video ever. And honestly, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be my last build video ever. This is my only character right here. Yep. Um, and I'm pretty happy with this build. It's a lot of fun, so I don't really plan on making any new builds. But what I am going to be adding to this channel is a lot of really short, kind of 5-minute-ish PvP videos. So that's what you can look forward to. So let me talk about this build. I made a little video a while ago about me going through Imperial City, and a lot of people found my build interesting because it's pretty unique as far as I can tell. And so I decided to make this video to kind of show how it works. Um, let's see. The build. It's not the best build ever. um, that's probably not the best thing to say at the start of my first build video, but it's honestly not. Um, It doesn't have the highest damage. That seems to be what most people want. Um, but it does have pretty good damage, and it has very good sustain, health sustain through critical surge, and it has a lot of control, a lot of crowd control, and that's something that I think is missing from a lot of builds these days. Crowd control is what makes games fun for me. Like I play support in League of Legends. Like I like controlling fights. I don't like just running in and spamming damage. Um, so this build, I guess I kind of developed because I tried everything with this guy. I went through like tanking, magicka, healing, melee. Finally, I landed on this. It feels like it synergizes with everything that the character is. Khajiit, sorcerer, stamina, everything. Um, and it's just a really fun build. Um, it's way more fun than Wrecking Blow builds, where you just run in and spam Wrecking Blow all day. With this one, you gotta reposition yourself all the time because it's ranged. You have to weave heavy and light attacks. You use all of your abilities instead of, just one or two. It's a really fun build. It's very satisfying to play with. So, let's go take a look at abilities. We're very, very quickly going to look at my gear and my champion points because, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so gear. I'm using Hunding's Rage and Night Mothers. I've also got this 3-piece agility. This is what works for me. I like it because it has very high crit, and I sustain myself through crit. Um, but I mean, it's not the only thing that's gonna work. Like, test around, see what works for you. I'm sure it'll be fine. Um, Champion points, it's even more general. I mean, just go to whatever big name ESO dude you usually watch, get one of his stamina builds, and just copy that. So I'm basically doing the same thing. It's not really all that different. The one thing that is a little different is I'm using poison injection and lethal arrow, so that's a lot of poison skills. So in my damage tree, I'm splitting points between physical damage and poison damage, which kind of sucks. I might change out of lethal arrow to focused aim, and then I can just drop the points from here and dump them all into here. That's probably a much better idea, but at the moment I haven't split. I just have to decide how much I want that heal debuff. I don't know. Yeah, so that's champion points, that's gear. Really simple. It's not the build. I mean, just find what gear and champion points works for you. Abilities. I've got Magnum Shot, Poison Injection, Lethal Arrow. Either Snipe Morph will work. Bombard is amazing. Streak and Storm Matronarch. This is just for the stamina regen, really, from the passive. I don't use this ult that often. It's not bad. I just prefer my other ult. From this bar, I would say Magnum Shot, Snipe, and Bombard are the critical abilities. Probably this one too for the stamina regen. Um, Magnum Shot keeps you safe. There's no immunity to you knocking yourself back. So that's like just constant crowd control that you have. Bombard is a spammable immobilize. There's no immunity to immobilizes. Causes people to dodge roll a lot, drains their stamina. It's an amazing ability. And this is really what the build revolves around. I mean, the bow abilities are extremely complete just in themselves. So my second bar actually doesn't even have any attacking abilities. It's a sword and shield, which I'm very excited about because this took a lot of testing for me to be happy with. I mean, for a long time I was two-handed on my second bar because I thought I needed rally, and then I was for a while I was actually dual bow. I had a bow on both bars, but this finally sword and shield. That's what the build needs. The reason this build needs it is because it relies on crits and dots. So when you're against a magic build that's using shields, you're just boned. So to even the playing field, we're using sword and shield for reflect. And this is what's going to give you a chance against those magicka builds is reflect, especially if you use it properly. And on top of that, there's no better feeling in the game than reflecting meteor. I mean, that's just the funnest thing in the world. So, again, fun build. On this on this bar, we're using Boundless Storm, Vigor, Defensive Stance, Shuffle, Critical Surge, and Meteor, Ice Comet. I'll probably use Caltrops on here once I unlock it. I just don't have it unlocked yet. I'll probably change it out for Shuffle, maybe Boundless Storm. I'm not really quite sure. On this bar, obviously, Defensive Stance and Critical Surge are your necessary abilities. Everything else is fairly flexible. I think you should probably keep Vigor, but everything else is pretty flexible. So that's it. That's the build. Now, the most important thing about the video, I think, is the way that it's played, because I don't see many people playing bow-focused builds. A lot of people use a bow, but not many people focus on it. So I'm going to show kind of a long PvP clip, and I'm going to walk you through kind of how the build works in combat. And that'll be it. Alright, let's take a quick look at a little PvP clip that I got. These guys are not the best PvPers ever, but I'm not either. You know, I'm still learning my build. I'm still learning how to play this game, you know. As you saw, I'm only running with like 200 champion points. I'm not the most experienced player. But I run into these guys, and my first goal is to slow the fight down. So I drop a Ice Comet, and I'm not trying to kill someone with it. I'm just trying to put them on defensive so that I have some breathing room, so they don't zerg me down. I'm dropping a lot of bombards, just trying to slow the fight down, right? Trying to keep my buffs up, keep my distance, make sure I don't get zerged. Now what we're going to see is I have kind of a rotation of abilities. That's when I reel in and do my burst, I got this little rotation. And my fights revolve around me controlling the fight, laying down the rotation, and trying to kill someone in that burst. So you're going to see it here in just a moment. As soon as I pop out, it's going to slow down. And you can pause it right here if you want and see the numbers. It's going to slow down. And I hit this guy with like 4 different abilities or something. If you pause right there, all that stuff adds up to about 13 or 14k damage. And now this guy runs away from me. That's like 14k damage, and it's healing me, and he's got a heal debuff on him. That's a huge health differential that goes up. And I can keep range, I got lots of mobility, lots of control. So now we run back to the red base. Is this red? Am I saying this right? Or is this blue? Oh shit, it's blue. Whatever, run back to this guy's base. Now, I dropped the Ice Comet and I bombard. I'm trying to keep them in the Ice Comet. Killed that guy, got this other guy. Now here, you're going to see the combo. It's snipe, while sniping, charging the heavy attack, and then letting go of the heavy attack, and one more ability. It's right here. Lethal arrow, heavy attack, and poison injection at the same time. So those 3 abilities hit at the same time. And that's how you're going to get to kind of Wrecking Blow type damage, almost. So most of my fights revolve around me laying down some kind of control, either bombard or magnum shot, and then putting that burst in, that rotation in. Your highest damage is when you... See, I just did it again. Your highest damage is when you can just sit in the back and spam lethal arrow with heavy attack weaving. But it's not realistic for fights like small scale fights when you're getting focused. So in small scale fights, when you're getting focused, you gotta revolve around defensive play, getting control, then putting down that burst rotation. So you're gonna see it again here in just a moment. Both these guys come in, I'm gonna Ice Comet, streak through them to stun, bombard to keep them in the ice comet. You're going to see this guy come up to me. Eventually I'm going to magnum shot and put the burst into him. Put the rotation in. There it is. See again, there's the rotation. So you're constantly looking to get control of the fight and then put in your rotation. It allows you to stay mobile, stay defensive, and dictate where the fight happens with your range. So this guy's just running away now, trying to spam heals, but it's not going to get him anywhere. Oh, he's trying to break CC because I rooted him. It's like people don't see roots, so they don't know what the hell to do. So that's how the build looks when you play it. I wanted to include that because that's what I always want to see when I watch a build video. You know, I don't want to see some guy talking about champion points for an hour. I want to see what the build looks like how you actually play it. So that's how you play it. You have to use, it's more difficult. I don't want to make it sound like I'm some amazing player because I'm certainly not. But it's a more difficult build than your standard stamina builds because you have to use all those light attacks and heavy attacks, and you have to know how all your different attacks interact with each other, and you have to keep on with your movement, staying defensive, keeping people off you. But that's what makes it fun. You know, that's what makes it a fun build. So this build can give you your damage, decent damage, good sustain, good control, a lot of movement. So it's a very fun build and it's unique. I don't see a lot of people using this. In fact, actually I know for a fact that not many people are using this because there was a game-breaking bug until recently where with snipe and weaving heavy attacks that would completely mess up your health bar, and nobody else is experiencing it until I made this massive thread on the forums and finally got it fixed. Anyhow, um, so it's also unique. That's my point. Thanks for watching. Um, I'm going to be uploading some PvP videos, so subscribe for those. I've already got all the clips I need. I just need to put it together. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. And if you use the build, you know, leave a comment. Let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear about that. So take care.